Welcome back, Saints Nation, to the CSL Fortnite League. Of course, my name is Daniel, the Saved One Mana, and joining me once again is Colin C. More. What'd you think about that last one, Colin?
Honestly, game 3, we saw 1ntrinsic die pretty early, along with his duo SGT.Swell. They got knocked out into 36th place, and I'm pretty sure that dropped them quite low on the leaderboards. And we saw the other duo, Ciri and Beauty, they made it a little bit farther. They dropped into 19th place, and then they got out of the whole round.
Yeah.
So game 3 was not Saints game. It was not the Saints game that we wanted to see, but game 4, I'm expecting an epic game in the Epic Games launcher.
Yeah, these guys have been basically training for 3 games at this point, so now we're going to transition right into the game itself as we get to see where exactly these guys want to be landing. Same locations, or maybe something a little bit different. It looks like the same locations, but it's nothing new. It's nothing to bash on either. These guys have definitely been basically taking over the areas that they've been dropping to initially. Ooh, and I feel, they might be. Yeah,
might be going to the Frenzy Farms instead of to the
Well, it's north of Frenzy.
Frenzy,
right? Definitely Ciri going to be going over to the same location that they've been going to this whole time, but it almost kind of seems like SGT and 1ntrinsic, they've been going to kind of odd locations too. You can actually see 1ntrinsic moving over to another side here, or maybe he's going over towards Risky, but I don't know if they both want to land at Risky.
Yeah, you know, one thing we were chatting with our director prior to this game, we were talking about how these two teams need to get a little bit kill frenzy into this. They need to get their elims going, and right off the bat, look at SGT.Swell getting a upgraded chest, and he's gonna pull. What is that?
That's attack.
Attack? That's a purple tack.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's the gold variation. That's obviously just the gold version of that, but
it looks deadly.
It's very deadly.
And we're gonna. There's 2 things we want to focus on though in this round. It's either gonna be because they need a lot of kills to pull themselves higher in the leaderboards. It's either going to be a really quick game or probably the craziest game we've ever seen.
Right. There's different strats, obviously, to go through if you want to be going into this match in particular. But I kind of like Swell's loadout going into this one, just because he's got the AR, he has the SMG as well as the shotgun. It's kind of that basic old style loadout. Doesn't have anything too crazy, but. You see Ciri right now just going for that old basic strat. Go over to the rocks really quickly, farm that one up, and then go and say surfs up, dude, to some crates.
Yeah, surfs up indeed. In some gnarly 90s in some Fortnite. So we're gonna
cranking some gnarly 90s.
Cranking some gnarly 90s. And is it possible that SGT.Swell might be in a battle right now? He seems to be playing a little bit defensive. I think I heard a couple of shots going off on that screen. He's just playing passive on that angle. They might have spotted somebody out. Is that a pinata I see out there?
Yeah.
I see a pinata.
It's called Llama.
Llama pinata. You remember the show Viva Pinata?
I do.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to remember it.
I just wanted to know if you remembered it.
Remember your childhood?
Yeah, you remember
the show that was. But now we're going to be looking over towards the south side here. Just want to be rotating over towards this car. It's got a chest on it. A little bit of extra cash for yourselves if you want to pick this one up. The tree actually ended up falling there.
We see him over at the
there he is.
Over at the pinata. They're going to be going for it,
Boop.
And he's going to be putting shots in, and they're going to try to take them out before they get the pinata. But they have a lot of materials probably to work with to secure that the item for themselves. And if I'm correct, when that thing first came out, it gave you about 500 each.
And now it gives 250.
Yeah, you just took the words right out of my mouth and said it for me. But
you like when I do that.
Oh.
Going back into this one, Southwest is going to be another rotation spot if they want to go over to this one as well. They got the fishing house. They got a bunch of fishing poles. You want to go fishing?
I don't. No, okay. I don't. But it's okay because they do.
A
nice little hog coming out for them as we saw Cyrus put that gun to work last time. Can we see SGT.Swell maybe get a few eliminations for himself? We see him pasture the fish. He has fish for himself.
Yeah.
See that?
Going to be going over to the island. Yeah, he's got the good old fish. The good old Benji fish is what we were calling that.
Yeah, the Benji fish.
That's the player that loves to play that skin a whole lot. But definitely some upgrades going into each of these players' slots. We end up seeing a nice bolt action going over towards Ciri as well. He's got a couple of pots for himself. Hasn't actually drank any though. Might want to be using or maybe even saving that for another time.
Yeah, maybe when he just wants to go have a few is it slurp juice was the thing? Maybe have a slurp juice with the bros.
That was the old thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe you want to have like a mini pod with the bros.
Yeah. You know, sometimes a slurp juice with the bros is all you need, but it actually got removed. So.
Yeah, I know.
Not today.
I just didn't know what else to call it. With the juices inside the pod.
You know what, man? I'll have a slurp juice with you.
And then we see Cyrus and Beauty actually moving down away from that house. And, ooh, Cyrus getting his trusty old AUG back into his hands.
Ooh, easy. Doesn't want to get the submachine gun. No. Hold on. Oh, he wants to give it to his buddy. Okay. Good old Swell. He's a swell dude.
Yeah, he's a swell dude indeed. And he got a gold out of that, a gold pistol.
Gold pistol, does he want to pick it up? Might want to give it, again, to 1ntrinsic. Not yet.
Might want to give it a go, but no, he goes for the fishing hook.
Yeah, definitely kind of useful going on into the later stages when you want to rotate over towards that area.
As we were kind of pointing out, because we are hearing the sounds of Cyrus and Beauty.
Yeah.
And I was wondering why they backed off of this house. I did hear them. I did hear a few shots, so they might be a little bit close to some people. He did upgrade his weapon over there, and I think we're gonna hop over to SGT.Swell and 1ntrinsic as they're in a fight, a 1v1. 1ntrinsic goes down early, and he's out of the match, and he's gonna be leaving SGT.Swell to do SGT.Swell things. He's not in a Swell situation indeed. He's gonna be putting down mats all around him. He does see that character. He puts shots down at him with the AUG, not gonna do more than 33 damage on that. He's gonna be pushed by that character now, and the player is putting so many shots into it. It might be a 1v1, I cannot tell. I think there are two, but I'm not positive on that. He's gonna move up to the attic, destroy the roof, and get the high ground against these two players. So we're gonna see him just play a little bit passively, go back down. Maybe he wants to bring the fight to them now, and the fight indeed is to them. They're gonna be up, putting the door in the editing, moving on up to the roof now. So yeah, here we go. SGT.Swell in a 1v2 situation, and he's not in the best situation. He wants to get these kills. He needs to get these kills to bring himself higher in the standings, bring his duo up with him. So this is not where he wants to be.
He's trying to build up higher and higher and just get the high ground on these players, and he's definitely going to get this right now. Also just popping a couple of just minis for himself. He's going to get his structure destroyed. He's going to just take a little bit of damage, but he sees the player right above him and below him. A lot of damage going over towards those players. He's going to just eat the fish right on up. A lot of HP is going to be regen, but the TAC is not able to get himself out of that scenario. He's not just going to leave the match as we move right on over to Ciri as well as Beauty. These guys, we're kind of in a little bit of a build battle. I don't want to say with themselves. I feel like there is a player really, really close, and he's actually going to take just a little bit of fall damage, but he's going to be destroying the wall. Now Beauty is going to try and synergize with Ciri. Ciri just going to unleash a little bit of damage. Beauty actually ends up getting that knocked down. That's one player being taken. Now they might want to go over up towards this wooden structure. He's going to edit the wall here. Can they get the edit off is the big question, as now a build fight is going to be going down. Really, really nice angles going to be going down as we see Ciri now trying to retake this roof. This player right below does have to do something kind of drastic if he wants to get out of this scenario. Beauty versus one. Whoa, my goodness. Ciri ends up grabbing the kill. Really, really nice elimination.
One apiece for the duo Beauty and Sirius as they both get a kill for each other. So they're going to move along and pick up the mats of the deceased players. And they do see another duo.
Why not?
Off in the distance, put a shot of 21 towards that player, taking down his shields a little bit. Picks up a trap and a blue tack shotgun. So the upgrade favoring him a little bit. And he might want to top off on his big paw right now. And that's what he's going to do. So he's going to bring himself back up to 100 shields, 100 health. And they're just going to play this passive angle. They do see those two players are actually on the edge of the world. I think, don't jump, guys.
They're not going to jump. They will. They're not going to jump, but the one thing that they could do is kind of play that wide angle. The big question, does Ciri and Beauty want to go for them? Or do they want to get into the zone first and then look for the different angle? However, they've got a couple of options here. They got exactly what I said first. They could be going over towards their marker from what we see as well. They do have a crate over here. One of the drops, the packages, the care packages.
Yes.
They could go over towards. Could contain a golden weapon if they get their luck on their side.
And here we go. We're going to see Ciri's going to be the one to pick it up. And he does get a purple. Is that a homing, like one of the remote control rocket launchers?
It could just be the purple variation of the rocket launcher.
Could Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I remember the home.
I remember the remote control. I think that got vaulted though.
It got vaulted at the same patch.
Yeah? Really?
It was like the patch after it. It was like 2 weeks it was out, and then it just got vaulted.
I remember playing with the remote control rocket launcher, getting my buddy on it and flying him around the map until it exploded and he fell to his death, untimely death. And we lost.
We won't talk about that one,
yeah,
though.
No,
we're not talking about that part.
We're going to talk about Ciri and Beauty
exactly,
right now,
as they're going to be rotating back to the section that they initially ended up going towards before, just grabbing all of the metal that they can. Of course, they need to cap on a lot of these materials. Since they are inside of the circle itself and they do have just a little bit of time, they could spend just, 10 seconds and grab, a couple trees.
Yeah, they're going back to their home sweet home of the little sand fort that they landed at first game. So a little bit of a kind of nostalgic feel for the team of Sirius and Beauty. I think I saw some building going on in there, and that's why they're being a little bit hesitant to go take that fight, as he is getting close to topping off on all his materials, and they're just going to block off their sight line so they don't get shot from the side. So they do have to be a little bit careful moving into this, as there has been a build battle, so there might be some lingering players in this city.
Sweaty could be the place that these players end up getting the W at, as there's still 60 players remaining. We're picking up this chest just to see if there's any sort of materials. Usually at this point, you don't really look inside of a chest for the actual materials inside of it. You look for the ammo, as well as maybe even a couple of grenades, maybe a couple of pots that could be in there. Of course, there's a couple of players as well that are inside of Sweaty, but all about, do you want to fight? I think the big answer is going to be no right now, as they could just stay inside of their little cubbyhole box, maybe create a couple of boxes so that they can be a little bit more intimidating than they are.
I don't know if you noticed, but the garage in that one building across from them was being fixed up a little bit, so there are players really close to them. So they do have to be careful about their position. They could get caught out if they're not careful. The circle is going to be closing in with 44 seconds left.
That's smart.
Yeah, he's going to be building up right where the crate is going to be dropping and finally getting the shots in. Those used to be take so long to take out, but now it's not as hard because they lowered the health one time. I can't remember when.
Maybe from 1,000 to 500.
I think so. I think that's what it was. So now they do have the crate in their hands, and they get huge. A golden P90 submachine gun. I think it's the compact submachine gun, as it is called. So it's going to be able to do a lot of damage indeed.
They were talking about this, actually. I guess them two were just kind of communicating between each other, because Beauty was the one that ended up picking up the purple variation. But I do like his loadout right now, at least both of these loadouts. We only really see Ciri's, but looking over at Ciri's, he's got really nice long-range weapons, and then the submachine gun for the close range.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the shotgun close range because of the amount of structures that can come up here in the late game, but we see a lot of explodes going down onto this just one house as he tries to find a new angle that he can attack the actual house from, but he's going to just totally ignore this one as Beauty just says, you know what, I got it. You guys can, or you can then now rotate and try and look for a new position for us to rotate to inside of the actual circle itself, as 53 players remaining. Kind of convenient that 50 seconds are now down on the clock, and a huge build fight's actually going to be going on. Maybe a third-party situation could be happening here, as Ciri just going to take a couple of shots over towards this building, but the players kind of know that there is other players in the vicinity.
Yeah, and he's going to be trying to pepper some shots down onto these players up in that situation, but he's going to passively back off of that and re-peek it now, as those players do know where he is now. He does hear a little bit of building around him, so he's going to look around and try to find where those players are. But at the moment, they're just going to passively hold off on this and see where those are. He does spot a team over to the 150 area, and he does see a little bit of fighting going on to the 230 area. So he has an idea of where everybody is. There is 51 players left in this lobby. We started off with 70, so only 19 have dropped, right? No, I'm bad at math. 29.
I'm not going to save you.
You're not going to save me. It's okay. It's whatever. It's whatever.
I'm kidding. The only reason why I say this is because I couldn't do math myself, so I'm kind of just joining you in the same boat. But yes, going from 70 to 50 is a huge difference, Colin, as they're going to edit through the structure here just to try and see if they can look at any other players that are around here. Not going to see any, but they're going to see a couple of people. Nothing that they can actually take shots towards. That's what I was trying to say. They're just trying. They're trying their darndest to look for other parties.
And those players in that build battle across from them are starting to rotate over towards the sight lines facing Ciri and Beauty. But as Ciri and Beauty are looking back towards that building to make sure they're not getting flanked, the circle is closing in on them. And I expect it to start getting hectic real soon.
See a couple of players rotating in a lot of shots. Going down onto that one player. I loved the recoil pattern. Started at the body and then slowly went up to the headshot. And you saw the progression where it was 23, 23, 43, I believe the progression there was.
Yeah. And I think it ended with about a 19. Maybe it was a lower
Something
shot.
like that, something like that.
It was,
4 shots.
anyways, he landed so many shots and actually broke his shields into his normal health. So he's going to have to use a lot of utilities to bring himself back up. And he is, I'm pretty sure, I heard some building going on close to him. So he's got to be careful. He might be getting...
That's a nice
run up
for them.
Yeah, this is actually perfect as if they just
right.
get across right here.
Yeah.
He's going to move towards the building. There are people underneath them. He has to be super, super careful in this rotation because he could be jumped on from that player on the stairs, could be shot from above from those people he was shooting at before. But Ciri and Beauty going to be making their way towards the docks.
That's one of those positions where you're just praying that nobody shoots.
Yeah.
You think that someone's going to shoot you.
You don't want it.
But you don't. Please, please, please. And then someone shoots you and you're like, crap. I should have listened to my instinct. But it's okay.
It's okay. They're closer to the circle surge than they were before, and now they have a player right about, I want to say 10 meters in front of them, just a little bit above to the northwest, and they're going to be fighting with players to the right of them. So they're going to be moving on underneath these players and taking the. This is very, very smart. They're going to go underneath them, take the tunnel under. Go past them and move on up in the business of tunneling.
Just gonna be looking at some other structures as well. Very, very slow late game from what we normally see. This circle coming up once it finally closes in is usually the circle that we see a lot more action going down. But a lot of these players cannot be down on their attentiveness. As we just ended up seeing one player just kind of sitting inside of his box, maybe really looking at nothing, and then realized he was getting shot from the side from our perspective from Ciri. But he's going to be looking through this brick right now. Not going to see anybody just yet, as Ciri is, trying to, I guess, continue the defensive state. There could be a player actually above him, and I believe he hears it. But it's one of those scenarios where it's like, all right, stalemate. You stay up there, I stay down here.
Yeah. You can pay the rent on the in the room above, and I'll pay the rent below. We just don't talk
just
to each
handshake
other.
on it.
Yeah, we just live in peace and harmony.
That's it, dude.
But
until I shoot you.
Yeah, until we decide that we need to finish this game. There's 39 people left, and the circle is closing in. We got 20 seconds left as we rotate on into the late game. He does pick up 32 and 14, gets dropped to 79 health, but he's going to heal on up before getting shot at by this player across from him. Beauty's going to have to put some help into this. They're going to rotate on behind them, make more walls. A lot of damage going on. Ciri has to be super careful because he is going to be really weak, using the compact SMG to put shots on down to the other teammates. And we look at the circle. The circle is going to be moving towards where they're looking, but a little bit farther, so they have a distance to travel, and this is the late game. You know, compared to game 3, he has more mats than he did last time, so the race is on, and they're going to be moving on forward.
The big thing is, does he want to shoot anybody that's actually rotating, anybody that's in front of him? He sees a couple of players, but right now you're kind of handshaking on it. I'm going to move back into the circle, you're going to move into the circle, and then we can maybe fight over there. But if anybody is solidified inside of the circle itself, then they might be kind of comfy on where they are. But you see that they're very safe inside of the edge of the circle. However, there's still players that have to go towards them as they're going to be building now. Still very, very low on mats, as we saw before. Beauty actually going to be taken down as the rocket launcher not going to be coming out here for Ciri. Just going to be looking through the window itself, trying to get a little bit of splash damage going down. Not going to get anything, though, right now. Just a little bit of mats going to be picked up for himself. Definitely a little bit of brick as well as wood as he tries to think, where exactly does he want to be going next? Dex definitely actually has a really, really good kit for himself, as he's kind of has a variation of everything. Where does he want to be looking? Where are these players is what he's trying to look out for next.
Yeah, and he's just going to be passively waiting inside this box that he made for himself. A lot of fighting going on around him. 37 people left in the lobby. As we're moving on up, he does take a little bit of a peek forward. I don't expect that the people who killed Beauty have forgotten about him. I think they're just moving on a little bit. Pardon?
He's dead. Dude, he's dead.
Yeah, I know the people who took him out.
Oh, okay.
I don't expect that they're just gonna move along from this. He's gonna put more splash damage below, try to destroy the structure, knocks him down, takes him a little 32
damage, yeah.
damage away
Still
from
a lot.
him, and yeah, still a lot to go. It could help the other teams that shooting on him take him out. So still 34 people left. Has dropped about 5 since the last time. So we're gonna see comfortably sitting in his boxes. Ciri does put a attack shot down, puts the compact SMG, takes about 63 damage from that player, but it was only shields, doesn't take the health away from him. But once again, this could be devastating for that player in a fight against other people. Puts more damage to another player. He's just having fun in his little box. He's controlling this little area, puts more down to that player. And now he's got to get that. He gets the knockdown. The full elim doesn't come underway. He only has him knocked out.
Huge, bro, huge.
Eliminates him by the storm. So he's going to have another kill. So 2 kills for Sirius. He's going to be moving on towards the circle because this is a far marathon that he has to run. It's definitely a sprint at this point. 26 damage, 22 health, and he's eliminated 19th place for St. Clair Saints, along with, I don't remember the placing of 1ntrinsic and SGT.Swell.
36. That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
So not really good first game from the St. Clair squad, but a little bit of a downhill battle from the next 3. Not the Saturday that we wanted to see, but it's the Saturday that we got, and it was an exciting one indeed.
Definitely a lot of late game team fights that kind of go wrong in a couple of scenarios. Are we going to be playing one more? Do you guys know? No, that's going to be it. So, any final thoughts?
Well, the one thing is that at the end there, Ciri was putting so much damage to so many different players, but he had not finishing up on the kills. Like, they just... It's not his fault. They were just getting away with like just a little bit of tad health left. So in the end, a well-fought battle from the squad of St. Clair Saints, but not the placings that they wanted. So that being that has been the CSL Fortnite playoffs this Saturday. So stay tuned for more Saints action coming up.